Hi, everybody. It's Margie Meacham, and this is another issue of Brain Matters 2015. Now, the reason I have this particular announcement up instead of our guest speaker is I have some late breaking news I really want to let you know. Our online conference, November 10th and 11th, is almost sold out already. We announced last week that Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, very experienced, prestigious, inspirational thought leader and executive coach, is our keynote speaker. And immediately we started selling out. So I predict that we will run out of available seats very soon. So if you're planning on joining us to explore genius through the lens of neuroscience, please get your ticket soon. You see the green button there? Yes, I want to bring out my inner genius. You can click that now, or you can go to our site at www.learningtogo.info for more information. And today, our guest speaker, I'm thrilled to introduce, is Jeanette Winters. Now, Dr. Winters is also a friend of mine. We used to work together in American Express. I actually had the pleasure and honor of reporting to her, and she taught me a lot. And we have very similar interests and passions, as I think you'll see as we go along. So let me tell you a little bit about her. Jeanette Winters is a talent change management and learning executive. She has led corporate talent management, diversity and inclusion, organizational development, and enterprise learning functions at the global Fortune 500 organization level for companies like Intel, American Express, Pitney Bowes, and Amgen. She describes her work as T2C2, that's teaching and training, coaching and consulting. She's a frequent guest lecturer at the University of Southern California in their Executive Masters in Leadership program and the University of Pennsylvania's Chief Learning Officer doctoral program. Her mission is to reinvent learning, leadership, and talent development for individuals and development professionals. Jeanette holds a doctorate in public administration from the University of Southern California, a Master's of Education Administration, and a Bachelor of Arts from the American University in Washington, D.C. She's a certified executive coach from the Hudson Institute. She took a certificate in neuroscience and leadership from the Neuro Leadership Institute, and she is one of the first certified master instructors here in the United States for Neuralink, which is an assessment and human development tool. So the reason I asked Jeanette here today is because we were having this conversation about the talent crisis facing the global economy, and particularly the United States, and are concerned that really not enough learning professionals and companies have recognized and are being proactive about this crisis. So I asked her to come in and share what she knows, what she's seen in her work and her research. So Jeanette, thanks for coming today.
It's always a pleasure, Margie. We have so much to talk about, and this topic is one of real interest to both of us, I know.
I know, and we're looking forward to it. So let's get started. We were talking about the global shift in the workforce. What is it that you found?
You know, Margie, the last couple of years, I have been doing a lot of research on the shifts in the workforce. We know that fewer employees are engaged than ever before. Workforce satisfaction is at an all-time low. And executives continue to cite talent needs as one of their top concerns for potential constraints in business growth. When I've looked at it, the things I found that have changed in the workforce are that for the first time ever, we have 4 generations actively at work together in the workforce. The workforce is truly global. Yesterday, I began my day with my colleagues in London. I ended my day with a call with another colleague in China. And I suspect that it's fair to say that many people on the phone share those types of days. And then skills gaps are very, very real issues. A recent study by Udemy, an online learning company, found that 61% of employees feel that they don't have the requisite skills to do their current job. Bang, that says it right there to me. With all the billions of dollars that we're spending on workforce development, training, learning, performance support, there's still a real gap in terms of confidence and competence within the workforce. Now, that coupled with the fact that we look at a recent study from Gallup, and this one is so scary. The title says it all. Only 1 in 10 people possess the talent to manage. And then you look at DDI's work, and they offer the research data that 50% of our hires fail, and that some 70% of executive new hires fail. So, Margie, we've got a workforce that is besieged by skill gaps, confidence level issues, and management and leadership gaps. And then it is compounded by automation and technology that's changing the work that we do every day. It's really tough out there, and we as learning and development professionals have got to do something new and different.
Absolutely. And, you know, this isn't really news. I know that you collaborated on the ATD, then ASTD white paper several years ago, and it's only gotten worse since then, hasn't it?
It has, Margie. We released that white paper in 2007 as a product of the Public Policy Council of ASTD, which I was chairing. And we were ringing the bell primarily around this the STEM workforce. But as you know, that it's not just science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but there are skill gaps throughout the workforce. And if you look, there are some 5 million jobs out there that continue to be reported as unfulfillable because people don't have the right skilled candidate in the right geography here in the U.S. We've got jobs that can't be filled because we don't have people skilled to do them.
And so what are the top skills that we're having trouble filling?
Well, you know, it's interesting because if you look at the technical skills versus cognitive skills, it's truly the cognitive skills that are the things that ring out. So it's mental agility, toughness, resiliency, critical thinking, the ability to innovate and apply innovative techniques to work, having a global mindset, understanding what it really takes to collaborate, working well in teams, ability to maintain and control one's emotions, that emotional intelligence quotient, which we've heard about for quite a while, curiosity, excellent communication skills, verbally, written, analytic experience and expertise, and dealing in data-driven solutions.
Go ahead.
These are often viewed, Margie, or referred to as soft skills. And as you and I were talking just the other day, there's nothing soft about these skills, and I think they're mislabeled. We do a disservice when we label them as soft skills. These are service skills, leadership skills. They are the cognitive skills that make the difference between success and failure in a job.
Absolutely, and that's what I apologize for interrupting you, but I was a light bulb went off, and I was about to say exactly the same thing. So we are on the same page there. I'd like to throw one more thing into your list, which I think is sort of understood and underlying all of that, and that's simply learning to learn, understanding that you need to learn constantly, and knowing how to do that for yourself as a self-directed learner.
You know, Margie, that is so key to my philosophy in life. And as you know, being a friend and colleague, my motto is learn something new every day, because that's the key to our individual and collective competitive advantage. We really have got to know more at the end of the day than we did when we came in, or we will not be competitive in the world market.
Absolutely. So now this is what we're facing right now in the present. Let's take a look at the future. And what do you think the future of HR, talent development, and learning and performance hold?
It's equally scary when you think about it. We have a workforce that is going to be besieged by technology and automation. And in a recent human capital trends report, they noted that just 5% of executives said they have a strong understanding of what computing will do to their workforce. You look at the outgoing CEO of Cisco, and he predicts that as much as or close to half of all companies that will be moving to a digital environment will fail. And, you know, then you look at HR, and 58% of executives say that they don't think that their senior HR leaders, have the relevant development to optimally perform in their roles. So we have a shifting workforce, increasingly besieged by automation, that is going to be challenged to address the new demographics and realities in the workforce. HR really has to step up into this role of leading and driving change, the culture, and making sure that talent development from start to finish is their job one.
Okay, great. Thank you for that and for raising the alarm to everybody who's listening. So, Jeanette, I know you work with a lot of companies and that your consulting practice has a lot of really interesting things going on right now. What are you most excited about?
You know, great question, Margie. There's so much that's interesting me, but the application of what we know about neuroscience and the brain is something that is really of interest, and we're just beginning to scratch the surface. And so much of the work I do with companies on developing talent and learning strategies is all around the area of how we can better utilize the knowledge we now possess on how adults learn, using shorter periods, shorter bursts of learning, employing self-directed methodologies, moving from a fear-based environment within learning to one that's predicated on support and nurturing, and really recognizing that learning is a two-way street. I like you, I've been told many times, we need an e-learning course that's 2 hours long on this subject. And I'll look and say, why? And inevitably, what we find is that people get very prescriptive because it's what they know, rather than relying on the people that are probably on this, listening to this podcast. And that's one of the real shifts that we need to make. And that's where my work lies. It's really helping organizations embrace neuroscience and learning and talent so that we hire better, more effectively, and train in mechanisms that really can enable adults to learn best.
Okay, well, it definitely sounds exciting. And as you know, I'm doing many of the similar things. So we really are colleagues in this. Now, I asked you to prepare a list of resources, and I'm sharing that on the screen now. This will also be available as a download from the site. So thank you very much for this, Jeanette. You want to give us a little bit of background about this list and why you chose these resources?
You know, Margie, like you, I read voraciously, but these are the resources that I hold in my toolkit closest. There are 2 articles out of the Neuro Leadership Institute Journal, which have models which are really important in terms of how adults best learn and really giving guidance on the new way of approaching a learning opportunity. SCARF and AGES. So those are 2 that I think that instructional designers should be really well aware of and embrace. And then as learning leaders, the book that is really my foundation these days is Learn or Die. And the title is incendiary, and it's intended to be. Professor Ed Hess has done a lot of work on looking at business growth and success and the criticality of learning. And man, I'll tell you, if there's one book that I'd urge your audience to read this summer, other than yours, then it would be Ed's book. It's a great primer on what we need to do and why.
Absolutely. I totally agree. It would be on my list too, if anyone asked me to make a recommendation. And I love telling people that the brain is a survival machine. which is really what Ed is getting at in his work too. We evolve to be who we are today because our ancestors needed to survive. And if we don't take that same survival instinct into every day, then we're missing opportunities to learn and evolve.
You know, if you stop and think of the brain as both a survival mechanism for the organism within which it lies, as well as a predictive machine, you really get the essence of what we know today about the brain. It helps us survive. It helps us react in the best way it knows. And it's predictive in that it relies on what we already know. And therein lies the opportunity for change and for learning. But it's not always easy. And but it's something that the payback is absolutely limitless. And so, as I always tell all of my audiences, learn something new each and every day.
That is great advice. And I think on that note, we will wrap up. I've been talking with Dr. Jeanette Winters. She is a talent and learning development expert, and definitely reach out to her if you would like to talk to her about her services or get more information. And I will have her resources posted. So for now, I want to just thank you, Jeanette. And until next time, everybody, learn something new every day. Thanks.